Hello and welcome to another Warcraft 3 audio commentary. Today, we're going to be watching a game from the semifinals of the GG.RU Old School Cup Winners Bracket semifinals, which I said twice, but hey, that's what it is, the semifinals from the Winners Bracket for the GG.RU Old School Cup. That's right, I said it like 3 times now, or two or 3. Depends on what you're talking about. Anyway. Let's introduce our players. The map is going to be Twisted Meadows. We have GG Abver spawning in as the purple human in the lower left corner of Twisted Meadows. We may as well be redundant tonight. And in the lower right side, we have Poker Off Please spawning in as the green Night Elf. Night Elf versus human. It's better than Night Elf versus undead at this point, I would say. Wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say? We did a lot of that. That was a long show match that we just covered. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and you're not too sick of seeing humans, because we have another human with another Archmage, but it's going to be fun, so go ahead and enjoy. Yeah. Ooh. I don't know enough about this matchup to be able to really go into a whole lot of detail in the early game, but we will be seeing the Demon Hunter. Now, this is an interesting matchup nonetheless. It's not one that I know a whole lot about, but it is one that I enjoy quite a bit. It's one of my favorites to watch, definitely. It can be, I'll say, because I really like the style that humans often will play against Night Elf with the towers and the kind of like, ooh, let's put up a little fortress here and siege them from this location. It's a very strategical way to play, and it's very fun to watch in my opinion. I'm not sure it's very fun to play against, but it's very fun to watch. So, of course, we're going to be seeing the opening Ancient of War creep. You're always going to be able to see that in pretty much any Night Elf game. On very few maps and very few matchups, you might not see that, like Night Elf Mirror on, you know, say Turtle Rock. You might not. You might see hunts that don't do it. But you might see it. You might see it. So, who knows? But usually you're going to see the Ancient of War creep. It's just so darn efficient. It's so darn good, and it gets you so much darn XP. And you might say, well, it's so good, but the human can easily catch up, because look, they have the militia creep power. And especially on Twisted Meadows, they have a great... Now, he didn't get the Tome of XP, but you can get a Tome of XP from this. You can legitimately get level 2 from this one creep, which is pretty fantastic. And that's just great. And you're going to see he is level 2. So boom, bang, shebang. And of course, the Demon Hunter also, I believe, not level 2, but he will be if he decides... No, he's not going to... He's gonna make more archers. See, I don't know. I thought you might go ahead and creep out the green camp there with the archer, but in the Ancient of War. But that's not what we're seeing. We're not seeing that. We're not seeing that at all. We're seeing him decide to do the harass. Now, the human was able to pick up the Scourge Bone Chimes, a fantastic item in this matchup early on in the game because you have footmen versus archers. And if they get defend, then they have a vamp, they're basically unkillable. Really, the only thing that's going to do any damage is going to be the Night Elf, the Demon Hunter. And he's picking up the Dust of Appearance. The Dust of Appearance, a very good choice. You can go ahead and reveal all of the little archers that are trying to shadow meld around in places. What else is he waiting for? He could be waiting for Boots of Speed, but that's a little ways off, so that's probably not going to happen. And he's going to probably end up creeping out one of these gold mines, which means he might get Boots of Speed anyway. No, he's going to go ahead and buy it. He's going to wait. Fair enough. Waited for it. Got it. That works. Works, you know. It's good. It's a good item to have. It's also nice to deny it from the Demon Hunter, but the Demon Hunter can always come to this one and get it. But if he has to go to this one, then that means it's basically buying time for the human to creep a bit more. Archers, apparently very important in this matchup. He's making quite a few. It looks like he really wants to stop this expansion, which he might be able to do. I don't think there's going to be a defend research out here yet. I would not with that many footmen, and he's making more footmen. So yeah, he's not going to have defend. I mean, he probably won't have the lumber for defend. Oh, he doesn't want to go stop the expansion. He wants to force the human to come back. That is very nice. Will he be able to do that? He may well be able to, because he's going to be able to kill lots of militia and peasants over here. Otherwise, now these guys will be able to defend their base pretty reasonably. But they're going to still die, and they're going to lose everything. So I guess it just depends on what you call defense here. I mean, it's enough that the Demon Hunter, I mean, he's getting low enough, he's going to have to eventually run out of here, but that's not going to really do anything to the archers, because he's tanked so much, and he's really just going to be able to keep killing stuff. It looks like the human's going to focus on the Demon Hunter. Good idea, you know, make the TP happen, because why not? And killing the archer is not going to happen, not quite quick enough, and there you go. That was a pretty legit way to, you know, kind of delay that expansion, because he's got to have lumber to make it, and he's just not going to have that lumber for a little bit now, because he's lost, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right here. There's one that's dead. We can't see it. I believe there's one that's dead right there. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. So that's quite a few peasants, yeah, to lose in the early game, and he is going to be able to just about be able to start building this actual town hall here in a second. But after that, he's not going to really have enough wood, I would imagine, to power build it with 5 peasants. So it's a really nice way to delay things. It also gave quite a bit of experience to the Demon Hunter. Not going to quite catch him up to level 3 because the Archmage is level 3 right now because you've got 2 really nice oranges, but it's still going to be quite good. And if he has to fight in his base, he doesn't have an Ancient of War in here. I don't know where that is. Probably off trying to go to another creep spot. It looks like it's going over to this mercenary camp. And here comes the nice dust. That's a really good, important dust. The Demon Hunter, notice he has not used the Moonwell yet. He's going to go ahead and do that. He was very offensive when he TP'd back. He just kind of ran out. I think what he was trying to do was protect his Moonwells. I don't think he wanted the human to come in here. He wanted to delay the human getting into his base and starting to kill things. Because, I mean, footmen are going to do a pretty good job against those archers. And now we're starting to see really why it was so important for him to make so many archers in the first place. Otherwise, these guys just don't last very long against footmen. Will we start to see them going down? It looks like a little bit of AI maybe happening there when they attacked the footmen and then they changed targets. I don't know what that was. But something there. He's going to go ahead and pick up a Naga Sea Witch. Now, the Naga Sea Witch gives you mid-game power, so will the Demon Hunter or the Elf player go ahead and be able to abuse that mid-game power? He might be able to, but that Demon Hunter is so low right now, and he's not going to be using these Moonos. I guess he's waiting for those as an emergency situation. I don't know. Maybe he's going to go back and get him now. I really have no idea what he's doing with that, but that is a very low Demon Hunter, and he's not really done too much to put himself, I would say. I mean, I don't know. It's a weird situation, but the human is sitting here. He's in his early game. He's not going to have the resources to tech up for quite a while. He could buy a shredder at some point. I'm surprised he has not, but at the same time, buying a shredder as a human is kind of a double-edged sword. You really want to have militia because they're nice. They're great for defense. They're great in the early game. They're not that great in the late game, so maybe get it. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think it would have been a good decision, but does he have the, the resources to buy a shredder right now? Again, I don't know. Well, he's not going to be buying a shredder anytime soon, because he, the Poker Off Please player, the Night Elf, went ahead and bought the shredder first from his location. So I guess it's a moot point for the moment. The human will have resources eventually to get a shredder, and I guess he'll probably get it then. I guess so. We'll see if he wants one. He might not even want one. I just don't know. Yeah, that's the way that is. So the shop's going up for the Night Elf player, but he is taking that Demon Hunter over to this Archmage. He wants to fight the Archmage, and he's fought the Archmage. You know, he's fought him. And here comes the Naga Sea Witch. The Naga Sea Witch does not have boots of speed, and neither does the Demon Hunter, which means chasing down the Archmage might be a slight bit of a problem. It's certainly possible if he runs into the Naga, but as you can see, if he's running away from the Naga, not really going to happen. And that was a pretty nice mana burn going ahead and going off right there, as well as another Frost Arrow. Wasted his healing regeneration scroll, which is a little bit unfortunate for him, but he's got so much going on over here. He's going to be able to take down the Night Elf shop. There it goes. And over here he is creeping with the Shredder and the 3 archers. He doesn't have any wisps over here for repair on that Tree of Life, but he should be alright because he's got all those guys down there helping it creep out. The Archmage is not really able to do a whole lot here. He is buying time, but again, he's not buying time in the way he really needs to, because he just probably doesn't even know about this. This was a kind of a hidden expansion, and it's hard to say that people are still able to get in hidden expansions in this day and age in Warcraft, but I think it still happens. And this is level 3 now on this Demon Hunter, so it's very possible that Abver is aware of this now, and he might not be. We'll see. We'll find out. We'll find out eventually if he starts looking for it. If he starts going to random spots on the map or maybe revealing, and then he'll find out. The Golem, unfortunately, is going to die right there. He could have lived, but the Naga would have had to back up for that to happen. So a little bit of miss micro, I think, on the Night Elf player's part, but still minor point. Mud Golems are not that expensive, and he does have Dryad slow as well as the Naga Sea Witch slow, so it's not a huge deal. Had a footman in the base kind of doing some wisp harass, and that's not really going to matter either because that footman goes down. And yeah, so here we go ahead and see some more Archmage attack. You got to be careful with that Archmage. Even though he has boots of speed versus no boots of speed, he can still go down if he's not careful, and he is going to be able to get away. But that is, yeah, playing very risky with your Archmage. He did have this Hound Portal, so he could have gotten out with that. But again, you have to be careful. And he was looking like he was going to play it the ballsy way, and he did. And so who knows if he would have hit the TP, but he was fine. He did safe. He did a good job. And it's always ideal to not TP if you don't have to, right? So there you go. And from the humans, oh my goodness, he just brought the Archmage back in to be so risky once again, and he's gonna die. That is crazy. I don't know. He's just so risky with that Archmage. Very dangerous. Much corruption. Much corruption. I don't even know. Even the corruption. What is the word I'm looking for? Much courageousness. Much courage. There we go. I was like, words tonight. It's been a long day, guys. I'm sorry. Anyway, so this expansion has gone up now for the 9 player. As you can see, he's got a Claws of Attack plus 9 manual of health. This would be great on the Naga. This would be great on the Naga or the Demon Hunter. Either way. So that'd be nice if you can go get those. Researched Adept on the Bears. We just saw that happen in live action. Pretty great. And the Demon Hunter could use a rejuvenation. Dryad could use a rejuvenation. Naga could use a rejuvenation. Archer could even use one, but probably not worth the mana because it's just an Archer. And then we see lots of towers coming from the human. Lots and lots and lots of towers, as they want to do. Over here we can see he's just not making more wisps. I'm not sure what he's doing with regards to that, but he's got the supply for it. I guess he just wants another bear, maybe, before going into upkeep. That could be what he's trying to do here, but he's going for eternity. He has a shredder. Shredder's nice. One of the big things that sucks to be a night elf is your lack of wood, because it costs so many wisps to make wood, and like any reasonable amount of wood. But with a shredder, that's not really a problem. And the human player over here, he can upgrade peasants to make them super efficient at getting wood, and so I guess he just decided not to buy the shredder. Fair enough, you know. I really don't even know if humans normally... Oh, no, he does have a shredder. I take everything I just said back. I don't know what it's doing in his Zeppelin. It could be on the ground getting wood right now. That would be really good, but he's not, so... It's a flying shredder. I don't know. I guess he wants to harass with it, maybe? I guess so. I mean, that makes sense. They are pretty fantastic against wisps. If I remember correctly, there's like a remotely incredibly small chance that you can two-shot a wisp with a shredder. I don't know if that's entirely true, but I believe it is. Maybe it's not even a small one. Maybe it just straight up does. I don't know. They have a huge damage range, so I don't know. Plus they do normal damage, which is pretty good against wisps. But anyway, he's going to use it to creep with it. Creeping is good. Creeping is fantastic. It's great. It looks like he might even be going for an expansion right here, bringing just down to 5 little militia. But that's going to be immediately scouted by the nice Night Elf player. We probably will see that Shredder get microed out, but he doesn't. He unfortunately dies to the creeps. I guess that's better than dying to the Night Elf. I mean, it certainly is, but it's still sad when you see a Shredder die. I mean, a Shredder, he's a neutral guy. He doesn't care. You know, he's just like, oh, you're gonna pair me, all right, I'll go. I'll do whatever you want. And then he dies in the line of battle. I mean, that's Warcraft for you. Anyway, so down here at the elf player's side of the map, the mappy map, we can see that he is going for the Master Bear research here. Druid of the Claw Master Training, which is good. It's, you know, gonna give them those nice little big beefy bears there. Are we seeing any text on here though? 1 attack upgrade. Are we seeing anything else? Where is that little hunter salt? Indeed, we are going for a 2nd attack upgrade, and that's gonna be pretty nice. We're seeing a lot of expansion play from both players. The human player now finally saying, you know what? I don't know if he's going to do harass. Yeah, he definitely must be. He knows what's going on over here, and that means he's gonna get a free +9 and a free manual of health. That's pretty good. Well, he might not notice it. Oh, goodness gracious. Wrong one. No, he does notice it. He noticed it. He goes for it. He gets it. Yay! It's just a shame to see those items wasted, you know, just a shame. The claws on the Mountain King, he's going to put that there. I just don't think he has the room on the Archmage. It's good to usually put any kind of damage boosting stuff on a ranged hero. The exception is kind of the Archmage, because the Archmage is the guy who ends up running out of battle the most. But usually you want to put it on whoever's going to have the most hits in per battle, because that's how you get the most benefit out of it. And that's usually a ranged guy, because melee guys usually have to run in and out of position. Some melees are obviously the exception. Demon Hunter, any kind of agility melee who can really stay in a fight and just tank. Pretty good. Also things with high attack speed's pretty good. Mountain King versus Archmage, again, it just kind of depends on your preference there. Probably though depends more on what you have in terms of item availability slots, or item slots availability, because you can't afford to put too much. The Archmage is probably going to get a Heal of Scrolling put on there. a scroll of healing put on there. So that's probably what that spot's reserved for. And it doesn't hurt to have the claws on the Mountain King. It's still going to give you pretty reasonably good effectiveness. The Mountain King is a pretty tanky guy, so he is also a kind of guy who can get in there. Oh, and the micro on this Wisp. What a beautiful thing. This is just not even nice. He survived a Stormbolt and several hits. That is the tankiest Wisp I ever did see, if I ever did see a tanky Wisp indeed. And here we're seeing this Naga just saying, yeah, you know, that's cool. I'll fight all these things. And a Hippogriff coming out, with the question, of course, being what is the Hippogriff for? Probably flying machines of some sort of another. Level 4 on this Naga Sea Witch, pretty nice. And here we're going to see the human army running into the Night Elf army without the Naga Sea Witch. I'm about to yawn because I'm tired. Level 1 Paladin. Is there a staff on anybody else? There's not. There's a staff on the Paladin, but he's going to put that over onto the Archmage because the Paladin's slow. So that's another great slot. You know, it's a good thing to have an empty spot on any hero. The Paladin is about to get staffed out. Kaboom, kabam, kabada, and he's gone. Also, look at this. Towers! Yay! It's the human way. Tower all day. It's been a long day. Anyways, this is exactly what I was talking about. This is not what I was expecting to see. Not quite what I meant when I was talking about things with towers and a position and then fortify it, you know, and then go for it. I meant with choke points and such things, but it works on an expansion pretty much just as well. The Night Elf player doesn't really have an answer to this. A lot of times when you play Night Elf, you'll get a Panda second, and then you have like a Breath of Fire, so you have like an AoE that deals with towers. Naga Sea Witch, not so much, and the Night Elf player knows. He knows that he can't do anything, so he's uprooted his Tree of Life, which has the upgraded movement speed here. So he's going to go ahead, eat a tree, and come down this way, and we'll probably see him save that and maybe move it up to the red. But this is one of the many reasons why it's good to have some scout and some scouting information at your expansions. You know, putting the building out here gives you a lot of vision, prevents things like this from happening. But at the moment, yeah, the human player just said, this is my expansion, so I'm going to take it. I mean, that was an expensive play. That's a lot of resources tied up in towers. And the Night Elf player is going to say, I'm going to make this costly as I possibly can, which is a really good idea. Nuking down the Archmage might force a invul pot. Yes, it is. 150 gold down. Now he's going for the Mountain King. The Mountain King can get staffed out, so that's not a big deal. He's staffed out. The Archmage gonna have to be really careful. The Archmage goes down once again with a TP to a nuke. That is one of the nice things about the Naga Sea Witch, is a nuke. And the Elf player, he's just said, you know, you might have taken out this position, but you know what? You're not gonna add salt to the wound. You're not building an expansion there, at least not without losing an Archmage. You know, getting all messed up and getting all bothered and hot and sweaty and I don't know what else. Anyway, so yeah, that's what's happened. And the human player says, all right, you know, whatever, I'll wait. I'll go put up the expansion. I'll pay my dues. So he's paid his dues. He's putting up the expansion, and the Paladin's going to come over here and try to do some fancy stuff to the Wisps. Honestly, at this point, it would be better to run the Wisps out of there, you know, instead of letting them die. You can detonate them as well. That's pretty good. Drains all the mana on the Paladin. Not a huge deal because the Paladin doesn't really need the mana right now. He could have Holy Lighted those peasants if he felt like it, you know, if he wanted to be nice, because chances are, you know, all his mana was going to be used right there on the detonations, but fair enough. The Mountain King coming over here, he's healed up a bit. He's still level 1, so he's going to have to be a little bit careful. The Ancient Protector immediately going up at this base. It will probably be the focus of the target of focus here for these two guys. Cancel it, and then he is canceling the Ancient Protector. Going to build another one immediately. Gonna be a little bit careful with these two guys here, making it a little bit harder to creep this out because he doesn't have a huge army. Bringing in a couple extra bears, that'll definitely help. Tanking on the Naga Sea Witch because you may as well. You can always rejuve that bad boy right back up. It's not going to be any kind of danger. And also those guys only level 1 Mountain King, so that's not a huge deal either. Amulet of Spell Shield, now that's a fantastic ability, or fantastic item. It gives you a really nice ability, which means every 40 seconds, so when someone tries to say Stormbolt you, the Stormbolt just doesn't go off. It just kind of fizzles out and just goes away, which is pretty great. Having an Ancient Protector up is going to help a lot against, well, one, it's going to give him some nice amount of vision, which is nice, and secondly, if he does try to tower him up, he's going to have a static defense there that he can go ahead and use to kind of deter that kind of behavior, which is just not very nice. And he's building even a second one just because he may as well, and it helps deal with also those pesky water elemental harasses that we occasionally see. I'm not saying we'll see it this game, because we might not, but it's one of those things that occasionally goes off, and when it happens, if you have an Ancient Protector or two, no problem at all, because those guys can always just uproot and heal themselves, and it works pretty well. We're gonna see the human player. He's moving his way up here. I don't know if he's coming here. This would be an odd place, so he's probably going here. Ah, the flying machines. Another thing that's really good to have a panda against and not so great to have a Nagasewitch against. It's like the human player says, if you're not going to make a panda, then I'm going to play around that and make all the units that I normally can't make in this matchup. But Naga is not the most strange choice in this matchup, but this is certainly a strange game, the way it's developing, which is nice. Siege Engines, another unit. But really, if you mass siege engines, and it looks like the Nile player is now well aware that these siege engines are here, but they may be trapped. In fact, they are trapped. They can't get out, and they're going to have to start killing their own units, their own buildings here, which is not... I mean, it's the siege tank way, really, though, to be honest. It's not anything out of the ordinary here. That's what tanks do. They kill buildings. They don't do a whole lot else, but they do kill buildings. We're going to see the elf player coming down here saying, oh no, you're going to make another expansion on me. Well, I'm going to stand here and protest it. Unfortunately, the peasants, they don't seem to care. They're not very impressed. They're like, whatever. And they really have no reason to be. Up here, we're going to see a little bit of a siege engine as well as these heroes here. This is a difficult thing to play against. If you're going to play against this, what you need to do is have map control. You need to have map awareness, and you need a mobile army. Because this little guys are very mobile. The tanks not so much, but you can send just a couple tanks to this base, a couple tanks to that base. A lot of things that help our Ancient of Wars. Build a couple of those, have them uprooted. That helps quite a bit against siege engines. They're pretty good. But again, it's just one of those things where it's like, it's not really an ideal situation for the elf player, because the human is saying, I want to take the economy win. And he can do that if he plays this right. He's got a lot of bases right now. He's sitting on 3 gold mines compared to the 2 gold mines that the human's sitting on, or the elf player is sitting on, I mean, because as you can see, 1, 2, and for the human player, if I can do it, 1, 2, 3. Oh, actually, he's not sitting on 3. He hasn't built the expansion here yet. So actually, we're seeing both players sitting on an exactly even. There is a little tiny Tome of Strength right there. I don't know if you can tell. You probably can. I love that glitch. It's one of my favorite. I normally just I just look at it and I smile, but I had to zoom in today. Anyway, so this is another gold mine that it looks like it might go down. He's trying to fight this. I don't know what's going on with my screen. I just saw a couple of weird graphic glitches. I don't know if those got recorded. Hopefully not. But yeah, as we can see, this is going to go down. There's really nothing that can be done about that. And the elf player just not having the scouting that he needs to have to be able to intercept these things. It would be great to have just random moonwells on the map. I don't know if he can afford to do that, because they would just simply die to siege engines, so it's not really a viable thing to do, but it would be nice. It would be very nice if he could afford to. Just anything to get scouting information at this point. Hippogriffs around would be nice. Those will probably die to a couple of flying machines though, so who knows, you know, who knows. But that is, you know, just having some kind of scouting would be really helpful, and I don't know what he needs to do to get that scouting, but he needs it. You know, maybe just having some dryads sitting around. A couple dryads here, you know, a dryad here, maybe a dryad over here, because dryads are pretty fast, and they can't be storm bolted, and they can't be slowed, so actually, that might be a pretty good choice, you know, and they can also abolish water elementals, so that kind of is nice, I don't know. And they can slow things down, they can kite, all kinds of fun stuff. Seeing him going straight for the Archmage. He's not so worried about the Mountain King, not so worried about the Paladin. Says the Archmage. We want to kill the Archmage. Also trying to surround these little siege engines, or rather block them. I guess he would like to surround them, but, you know, blocking them is just as good for now. He has managed to surround on that one. He does say, you know, we can do both. Let's block and surround and kill and all that stuff and chase and, you know, whatever else we can do. We have a whole bunch of stuff up here, and it is just going to run through this. There's no way that elf player can really spare the resources right now to come over here, so he's just going to start uprooting stuff and repairing. Taking as long as he can, but this looks like a slow death for the Night Elf. I don't know. He's gonna try to come over here. Maybe he can. Yes, he's gonna eat his way into the trees and block the siege tanks from going in. That is a clever play. That is really nice. Of course, he's not really using it the way that I was expecting him to keep walking in there a little bit further, and he would have been fine. Absolutely, but he is fine. He can actually retreat just in there, and no way he's going to lose that. The flying machines have even decided to start trying to kill the wisps instead, just to kind of get rid of the choke point here, but they take forever to kill the wisps, and that's just, this Tree of Life should be fine. Really nice, clever play from Pokeroff, please. Doing a fantastic job, but losing a bear, not something you want to do. Really, in my opinion, you should just have a staff on this guy. having 2 staffs as a night elf, it's affordable and it's really good because it means you lose less units, and less units means you have better and stronger economy. In a game where it is an economy war, that's kind of a big deal. That's kind of important. So I would personally criticize this play that way. I could always be wrong, but I do think I just think it's crazy to not have that. But anyway, I mean, you know, straight up, what do I know? But yeah, so here we're gonna see him. He's gonna go ahead and chase down the knight. Knights are good to kill, but the knight may not die because there's a paladin there, but he's not gonna die. Look at that. Knights are fast. I mean, knights are really, really fast. So it's always hard to chase those guys down. And down here, we're just seeing lots of tanks die. Now, tanks dying is it's costly. It does cost a lot of money when you're losing a lot of tanks. And you know, you're basically trading tanks for Ancients of War. A lot of the time we're seeing a couple of glaive throwers come out. Glaive throwers are really nice because they do siege damage, which is really good against siege engines. They take a lot of damage, as you can see, from those glaive throwers, which don't really do a whole lot. 36 to 53 is not a lot for a siege unit, but it's enough to take out some tanks. So that's nice to have. See everything you can do here, and he wants to play. He's just playing the game against tanks. Tanks are everywhere. Siege engines, whatever. Take them down where you can. I don't know what else to say about it. I don't know. But just some clever stuff going on from Poker-Off Please here, absolutely. And of course, Ancient of Wars, just your kind of, they're like your guardians. Look at this. These guys are so bloody cool. They're not even looking. They're like, I don't even care. You know, when a siege tank pokes me in the butt, that's when I'll care. Before then, I just don't even care. I'm going to see some Ancient of Wars having some issues down here. They will give experience, and you're going to see that. So 207, it's going to go up to 215. It's just unbelievable amounts of experience here. Losing these Ancient of Wars, it's just absolutely incredible. They just give so much XP, and that is such a loud car, but don't worry about the car. He's going to finish off the Ancient of War. Yes, yes. Mistimed the damage there. Misjudged, rather, the damage that was going to come out right there. It's hard to tell because you have a lot of units here that have fairly large attack range. 31 to 43 damage on the Knight, 31 to 39. The Water Elementals, 26 to 36 on the Paladin, you know, 29 to 30. It's just, you know, I got all those damage ranges that makes it a little bit hard sometimes to be 100% certain that you're going to get it on a last volley or something, because things may not work out the way you were expecting them to, and who knows. It's just hard to judge. But there we go, that's what happened. And up here we're gonna see some more of these guys. Actually, these guys are creeping out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, this might take them a while. Might take them a very long while to kill anything. I don't think they were seriously trying to kill that. They probably just got moved there, and then they just started attacking the stuff that was underneath them. Oh man, look at this. This is so cool. I love the ultimate from the Naga. As you can see, it's like cycloning little peasant guys who are trying to repair the towers. You can't repair the towers, says the tornado. The tornado is going to kill everything. And that's what the tornado starts to do. I'm not sure why she's running it away. You can actually choose where these run. And she is literally, I don't even know what she's doing with it. What are you, I don't, what are you even, what did you just do? Ah, that was so, that was, I don't, no, I don't know about that. I don't even know about that. Yeah, so anyway, we have a couple flying machines. They're trying to kill these glaive throwers. They're having a little bit of an issue chasing them. Kind of having some problems, you know, reaching them. If the guy turns, though, that is, whenever you turn in Warcraft, you move much slower. That's one thing you have to be aware of. And he's going to have to micro that guy just a little bit because it's being chased by flying machines. If there were only some way to heal that guy up with, you know, maybe some wisps over here, they'd be fine. Will that happen? I don't know, but it should. He's going to lose the glaive thrower. And that is depressing. And the archers came in, but slightly too late. And he could have repaired it, so that's just a shame. Over here we're going to see some nice action happening, but the action is mainly a human TPing out. 6 on the Demon Hunter, 6 on the Naga. That could be pretty scary. The economy game has not played out too great for the human here, I don't think. Let's see, what is his money? He's sitting at less than 1,000 gold. He's got 3,800 gold left in that gold mine, and he's got a pretty much nice full just about gold mine right there. The elf player also has about 2 full gold mines, so, and he's hanging on just fine. So, and he's got a lot more gold saved up. Also, he has 7,000 wood, which is just insane amount of wood to have. The human player is currently in upkeep, as well as the night elf player. So both players are sitting in upkeep right now. And this is just kind of going on, you know, just saying what's going to happen. Who knows what's going to happen? But we have double sixes, and that's nice. And the human player deciding to come over here to creep out, get some swish items, as well as potentially lose a peasant because he's not paying any attention to it. Some more disappointing play. What are you doing? He's got a knight in the stomach of the dragon. He's going to have to free that guy, you know. And he's going to get some swish items, like I said. You know, he's got a nice, actually has a Staff of Silence, which is pretty fantastic. And he's gonna get some XP. That's what he's here for. XP and items. Oh yeah, and saving the knight. You gotta save the knight. That's another thing you gotta do. Save that guy. And also we're gonna see some peasants. They're gonna start building a town hall. Oh yeah, also some towers. And also this little guy has now been attracted to this dude. He's gonna go ahead and try to kill him, and he's probably gonna happen to kill him because this guy's probably not gonna stop building. If you stop building, then the dragon quits attacking you, by the way. When you start building creeps, they kind of say, ah, that's my priority target. So that was more sloppy and sad and disappointing play from the human player. It was, though. And also he's leaving a replenishment potion, which makes no sense, because he has plenty of space to pick that up, and you know it's dropping 2 items. What are you doing, Abver? And if you get it, oh, for goodness, you know what, whatever. Down here we can see a little bit of awesomeness with an ultimate being used. I'm assuming the Cyclone was not used, because if it was probably used off over here again, because he's crazy. He's crazy like that. And yeah, so he took a lot of towers down with the ultimate, which is not a bad thing. It may seem like a waste of an ultimate, it might, and maybe it was, I don't know, but it's probably not that big of a deal, because he was able to make it a lot easier to assault this thing. Now he could actually hit this with a dead-on assault and pretty much kill it. And he's got lots of stuff over here, but nothing up here. Not a thing up here. Not even a thing. And there are 5 siege engines here with 3 1 attack upgrades. That's not gonna fly. Oh boy. And the elf player is saying, well, you know what? I guess I'm gonna lose a base, but I'm gonna try to make you lose a base as well. We'll see if that works. If he was a little bit faster with those peasants, he could have actually got him up there and blocking that tree of life. He might still be able to. It's not gonna be easy now. It's not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination, especially if he doesn't micro. He quit microing, so this guy is no longer running away. He could have been hidden in the trees. He actually probably could have gotten away from that in the trees, but he wasn't microing. He was microing stuff down here, I guess. So that's okay, though. That's okay, though. You know, that's okay. I'm just guessing about that. I mean, it looked like he could, but who knows? I don't know. And the human player, he says, I don't give an F. I'm gonna creep some more dragons out. And that's a pretty reasonable attitude to have, you know? I'm okay with that. If I was the human player, I would like to feel that badass to say, yeah, I don't give an F. I'm just gonna creep out some more dragons. And that's what he's doing. And he's, you know, again, trying to save a knight. The knight goes in the dragon's tummy. Maybe he'll holy light, and he holy lights the water elemental. Very nice play, you know, very nice. Yeah, is he gonna go for the expansion here as well? Possibly. But probably not just yet, if he does. And if he does, it's kind of a crazy play, because it's right behind the elf's main base, which is one that he might decide to go for an expansion at. I don't know. I don't know these things. But anyway, this is a great experience gather. He's going to move that Archmage out of the way so he gets lots of XP on the Mountain King and the Paladin. Oh, yeah, look at that, level 4. Not quite level 4 on the Mountain King, but he will get it from this, I believe. Also, I can't tell what items. Oh, the stone token. Someone's a rock golem. Also a spiked collar. Pretty fantastic. Also, it looks like the elf player revealed this area. I think that was the elf player. Yeah, probably from right here. They got a farm and a wisp chilling out at this laboratory. And that's teamwork, guys. That's what I want to see. That's a teamwork play. Good job. And now he's going to drop in over here and say, let us do some damage, which he'll probably be able to do because the elf player is not really nowhere near it. He might have to force a TP here, and yep, he is going to force the TP. This is an important base. This is the Tree of Eternity. The human's going to TP right on out. He's going to try to kill the Shredder. Say die, Shredder, die. Die, Shredder, die. The Shredder didn't die, so there you go. And some tanks. Well, some tank that has died. So we're probably in the transition phase here to an army from the human player. The tank thing, it you know, it was quite a phase, but it kind of fizzled out by now. You know, the elf player going for yet another expansion over here. but there is a siege engine in the way, so he's gonna have to deal with that with these here ancient wars, which, you know, he is going to be able to do, because again, human player not quite microing. He's gonna run away. He's gonna run away. There's the micro I want to see. There it is. There it is. Get out of there. Get out of there, you beautiful siege engine. And here comes a fight, potentially, with some Griffin Riders actually in the way. Now, 2-0 upgrades on the Griffin Riders, 2-1 on the Knights. That is going to be pretty nice. Griffin Riders are great against bears, especially if they're only 2-0. You don't really have the resources to start teching up your units, though, if you're massing... Actually, he did. He had plenty of resources throughout the game to actually tech those guys up. He used them for other things, and I can't say that he did it wrong. He did it wrong, because he's got 3 attack upgraded glaive throwers, so that's pretty good. They do 39 to 107 damage, plus 18 with the roar, which is a lot. And that could take down a castle pretty quick, actually. Yeah, insanely quick, actually. Look at that. Holy crap. That's a 3 masonry upgraded castle. You never see these things die this quickly. So yeah, that's a lot of damage coming out. And he's gonna back up and probably keep on trying to kill it. You know, reposition. Here comes the metamorphosis. Here comes the fight, and we're gonna maybe see a cyclone in this. I don't know, probably not, but we might. Who knows? Staff on the dude, get him out of there. And the castle is dead. The castle's dead. I repeat, the castle is in fact dead. Do we have a TP? Do we have a TP? A potential TP? We could potentially TP. Here comes some nice human summons here. Some stone token. I'm going to see the Mountain King getting staffed on out. And here comes some more fighting. We're seeing these glaive throwers getting eaten alive by these knights, though. And that's not great. This is a potentially bad fight for the Night Elf. He did kill a castle. That was, you know, he got the guy to summon some items, some of his nice items here. It seems to me like that's a good time to get out of here. I don't know, he's risking losing the Naga. It does have the Amulet of Spell Shield, but again, there's a lot of negative spells that could be thrown at it right now. We have the Mana Burn, first of all. We have the Rock Golem Stone Toss, which is a stun. Second of all, we have a Mountain King with a Stormbolt. Third of all, and there it was, he went ahead and did the Mana Burn first and then the stun, because the stun's better if you want, you know, if you're not watching the Amulet cooldown, which not easy to do, then yeah, you know, Mana Burn first, and that's a good way to make sure you burn it. Killing the bear with the Mana Burn. Here we're going to see this Griffin Rider taking some focus, but he's going to be fine flying over the trees. High flying, it's a good way to be. Trying to kill the bear with the stun, might be able to. Going to get the staff, he's out of there. Boom, boom. Kabang, kabang. Gonna see some damage on these water elementals. One down, a down. Maybe will he get the XP? He does get the XP. It was very close, very close. He could have been dissipating at any point right there. And yes, the human player gonna be very ballsy and start building a town hall right there, and also building a town hall over here. But there's an archer here saying, let's not have that happen. None of this now, peasant. Move along. Nothing to see here. Like, I don't know what I'm saying. But yeah, so here is a Wisp. He's being chased by a Griffin Rider. Now, I'm going to tell you who I think wins that engagement 100% of the time. It's going to be the Wisp. The Wisp runs away. Yeah, the Wisp doesn't care. And he starts building an Ancient of War. Yeah, so that actually just happened. The Wisp actually won. Yeah, see, I know so much about this game that I could tell you that. The Archer going to actually defend against a Griffin Rider as well. Yeah, because they take like no damage and they have 3 attack upgrades against this thing. Going to have a little bit of struggle here with the Water Elemental. I'm not too sure about that. The Water Elemental definitely is going to be able to win. Here comes the nice Meld. Get out of the way. Preemptively says, okay, here comes the human. I know how to play this one. And yeah, so I really have no idea who's winning this game. If we look at the counts of resources, it looks pretty even. I mean, the elf player has a bit more. But we can see that he is on 1 expansion, I think. Two expansions. Okay, it's got about 10,000, 12,000 gold to mine now. So it's got basically one gold mine at like twice the normal rate of gathering. And the human player sitting on two gold mines with about 15k roughly. So working on another one, working on yet a third. But this one probably won't go up. It's going to be contested. It's absolutely being contested. 7-7 on these heroes. Really nice hero levels. 4 more siege engines. He's just not giving it up. I mean, what's kind of nice about what we saw is that there was a nice buildup of glaive throwers, and the human player started transitioning away from tanks into an army to deal with it. and he dealt with it. And then after that, it looks like he might be going back towards tanks. I don't know. It's hard to tell. A lot of flying machines. Nice flock there. Nice flock, okay. Nice flock. He might be going straight up into a different transition out of tanks towards flying machines, Griffin Riders, etc. Could be seeing that. There are quite a few bears out, so that is definitely a possibility here. But just to see, it's good to see the game transition around and see different strategies being played in the same matchup, or in the same game. And it's one of the nice things about it, longer games with Warcraft 3. Whenever you have the longer games, you can start to see the different transitions, which is always fun to watch. But I'm not sure what's going on right now. I don't know what stage we're at in that transition phase, or really what the whole cycle is. But I do know we're attacking that Archmage. Go for the Archmage, kill the Archmage. You know, it's not going to happen because the Archmage has a Holy Light and a TP, so hopefully he doesn't die. He's going to TP out. That's what he's doing. Say goodbye, Mr. Night Elf Army. And boom, kabang, kabam. Over here we see some Siege Engines fighting a couple Ancient of Wars. I'm telling you that it's not looking good for the Ancient of Wars. They might kill a Siege Engine. Looks like they're going to. Yeah, they will. Help of a bear. They're running away. Both of those Siege Engine or Ancient of Wars are down. So that's a 2-for-1 in my book. 2-for-1. I'm not sure. I think it was actually a pretty even trade. Two Ancient of Wars for 1 Siege Engine. I'd probably make that trade. I'm not sure what the math there, but it's nice, you know, to kill a Siege Engine. I don't know. And the Siege Engines are coming into the Night Elf main base. And over here we can see some more flying machines actually doing some damage. Archers are fantastic against flying machines, but you can't really afford to mass those against human in the late game. They'll just kind of get picked apart. Do we have Staff of Teleportations on all the heroes? No, we don't, but I feel like we should, because that would be so useful right now. So useful. He's gonna actually end up in a bit of a bad spot here with this Naga. He's gonna buy the Ancient. I don't know if he bought it, but he definitely used Ancient, the anti-magic shell potion there, with a Stormbolt en route through the air at him, saved him from getting stunned. Will we see a Metamorphosis? It's always a not great thing to Metamorphosis a fight when you know your opponent can and will probably just run away from you if you do, because it's just kind of like wasting your cooldown. Don't really want to do that. And just showing up is actually enough to get the human to back off. So yeah. That's nice. Down here, this is still running. I don't know why. I have absolutely no idea why. I guess he can't really get there with all those flying machines preventing any kind of Zeppelin going over. And he doesn't really have the air units, so what's he do? I guess he just deals with it. If he can kill this Mountain King, then he is pretty good shape. But he can't get Holy Lighted. He can probably get staffed. He got staffed. And meanwhile, we have more stuff from the human. Just coming over here and wrecking. Being a wrecker. Just killing lots and lots of buildings. This is so difficult to deal with because, I don't know, you just can't chase the human. You can't chase the human. The human has the late game, like, a siege superiority, I guess you could say. And he is just using it all day long. And he is working on the, he's got the nice advantage right now for economy. See that this has had to uproot, not good. So he's not mining at all. Whereas the human has 2 gold mines. And it looks like a slow death for the Night Elf player. It really does. The only thing I can see the Night Elf player being able to do here to turn this game around and win is if he can kill the army of the human player and then just kind of like go around and start killing stuff. But the economy of the human player is pretty secure. It's on 2 bases that are on islands. And that's not easily accessible for this Night Elf player in the least bit. He has no real secure way getting over those river bits because there's so many flying machines on the map. And now we have level 6 on the Archmage, which means he has mass teleport, which is only going to make this a whole lot harder. A whole lot harder for the elf player. Because now, as if the human wasn't mobile enough, he is a whole lot more mobile all of a sudden. So that's going to be another thing he's going to have to be really careful about. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I would definitely say this looks like a slow death for the elf player, which is just unfortunate. But really, in the late game, it's one of those things against human players, in my opinion, if you get to the late game as a human player and you're not crippled in terms of economy, then you've more or less won the game. I mean, it's not a guarantee, but It's by no means a guarantee, but if you get there, you're in a pretty good spot. I mean, you've definitely done your job, you know, as a human player if you get to the late game without being behind and actually, you know, being a slight bit ahead. And I don't know exactly if that was the case. I would say it was fairly even most of the game, but the human players just done a really good job keeping the mobility up and not making a lot of mistakes with in regards to saying, okay, this is where I need to attack with one part of my army and take my other part of my army over here. Kept things split up and also did a good job. Again, I think my favorite part was when he showed up with all those towers right there, completely unexpected, and really I think put him in a good spot, like a really good spot, because he made the human player or the elf player no longer have an expansion that he was mining from, and he took over that expansion, and it just fits the style he's been playing this whole game so well by just, you know, a very CG type of style. Economy-based play. Man, I'm sorry, I've been inhaling dust all day, so can't speak a whole lot. Yeah, and this is looking, I mean, I don't know what the human's gonna do, or what the elf player's gonna do. It looks like he's gonna TP in. This could be another battle at this Tree of Eternity. Mass TP on out. It's not even gonna be a battle. It's gonna be a, oh, actually, part of the human army has kind of left behind. This could be bad, but I don't know. This guy has level 5, so he can kind of just run away. Divine Shield. Mountain King could pass the staff over. He actually has the staff on his paladin, so if he needed to, he could staff the Mountain King out. And really, at any point he wanted to, he could turn around and start fighting. The paladin might get surrounded here, but again, he has a staff, so he could just staff him out if he wants to. Kind of surprised at this, actually. Divine Shield going down. Here comes the Mountain King coming back to staff him out. I guess he just wanted to let him do some damage. Kind of the bait play. Bait you into a surround, take some damage, you know. Whatever. That's how it works. Maybe a fight at the mid, fight at the tavern, at the old pub. Siege engines running away. More siege engines coming into the base. There's very little economy left for the elf player at this point. Still quite a bit for the human player. Another gold mine up for the human player. This is looking really bad for the elf player. And another mass TP in to go for the Tree of Eternity. If the Tree of Eternity goes down, there's really no comeback for the elf player at this point. And in fact, he might lose that. And in fact, there it goes. So this is a critical fight. He either wins this fight or the human TP's out. If the human TP's out, which he's doing right now, with I believe is a mass TP even, yeah, so he's not even burning any gold to do that. And that's, I mean, there's no more, I mean, this is it, and there goes Metamorphosis, a wasted cooldown, unfortunately. That's the rest of his economy. He's only got a handful of buildings left over. They're all being assaulted. It's just not looking good. The elf player has basically lost at this point. But this was a great game. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was, again, one of those games where, you know, when you're playing against human, you have to, you know, you have to play it very strictly economy-based. I can't believe he still doesn't have 2 staffs. I don't know, I feel like that's such a waste. I feel like there's so many units he could have saved, so much gold he could have saved with a second staff. I think it had to have been worth it, and he definitely had the slots for it, in my opinion. Look at this. I don't know, very strange. Also could have used some more mobility there. I think you have to play in mobility. You have to play it to mobility, and you have to play it to secure, you know, an economy in a way. So I don't know. I don't know exactly what the elf player did wrong, but he's definitely lost now. The human player did a really fantastic job, though. And so good game, absolutely fantastic play. Let's go ahead and just finish that. Yeah, the Demon Hunter was dead. There's no way he's gonna win that fight, 2 heroes versus 3. But that's it, good game. That was game number 2 from the semifinal for the GG.RU Old School Cup winners bracket. So definitely great players there, and we might watch some more games from that. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know which game this was, but actually I think it was game 2. I think I've said that. I don't know. But redundant. It's my thing tonight. Have a great night, guys. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.